Good afternoon, Paul. It's Thursday, the 2nd of March. Here's the heads-up brief for today. For the Southeast Asia production, we covered 23 issues. In North Asia, we covered 5, and for the Australasia and Pacific Islands, we covered 8. In South Asia, we covered 20 issues, plus the major issues in the Europe, Middle East, and Africa regions.
Okay, excellent. Uday, crack on.
Paul, in China, the Chinese National Offshore Oil Corporation announced the discovery of oil and gas reserves in the Bohai Sea. As per estimates, there are over 130 million tons of oil and 9 billion cubic meters of natural gas.
Okay, incredible news. Thank you. Go ahead.
In Indonesia, unions and student groups will protest in Jakarta and across Indonesia from the 10th of March to the 14th of March over the government regulation which replaced the omnibus law on job creation.
Yeah, look, we need to get a very clear understanding on that, especially the purpoo that replaced, or not replaced the omnibus law, but replaced a component of it or adjusted a component of it to move forward, because we need to really understand how significant the protests are going to be. From my hip, I think they're going to be fairly insignificant and dwindle, but I don't think HIP is a good process to go through with our clients. So let's really understand that purpoo. Let's have a chat to our guy in Jakarta, see what he thinks, both from a legal and from a unrest perspective. So take that forward separately offline, and then we'll need to pump out a fairly significant advisory to clients, depending on what those meetings heed for us, okay?
Sure, Paul, we'll do that. In Malaysia, the Malaysian Minister of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living said that the government needs 6 months to address the misappropriation of diesel subsidies. Authorities have started investigating diesel smuggling and are wondering what actions to take against it.
Yeah, okay. Malaysia, truly Asia, bewildering. Okay, thank you.
In Myanmar, a Chinese state-owned railway company and the Myanmarese state-owned railway company have resumed work on a rail project that will connect southern China to Rakhine State. There's resistance groups that are active in some of the central areas of Myanmar that this railway will go through, and they said that they would target the project.
Yeah, look, I believe that's the Area 1 engineering group, but can you please just get someone to map that kilometres from A to B? I'd like to just have a closer look at that. I also need to see and get someone to just do some heat mapping. I need to actually see what other areas controlled by other ethnic armed organisations that will pass through, and also how active the People's Defence Force is along that line, because what they plan to do in Myanmar at the moment and what may occur may be significantly different. I also need to see where it runs in terms of the main supply route, the main road that goes up the centre of the country. So get someone to map that out for me and do some heat mapping, please.
Yeah, sure, we'll do that, Paul. In the Philippines, tribal groups in Agusan del Sur province have declared an Australian mining company as persona non grata for failing to remit payments for gold and silver alloys to the community.
Okay, get me a little bit more information on that. Exactly which community, where are they, and also the name of the company and who owns them and where they're listed. I'd like to dig into that one a little bit more, okay?
Sure, we'll do. Moving over to Thailand, Paul, Prayut said that it's too early to see if the United Thai Nation Party, which will nominate him as a prime ministerial candidate, will join a coalition with the Palang Pracharat Party. He also dismissed rumors that the Palang Pracharat Party will work with the opposition Pheu Thai. There has been increasing rumors of this in Thai media over the last few weeks.
Okay, that's really good. Keep on top of that. We need to keep a close eye on that. Again, if they elected to team up with Pheu Thai Party, you'd see all kinds of charges against prominent officials of that party, because it's just simply not going to happen in Thailand. But it's really important we follow the groundswell around these rumours. I'd imagine if those rumours get too large, you're going to see some of the social media influencers and the people spreading those, both in the electronic media and in the social media, shall we say, get somewhat closer focus upon them than they're bargaining for. Thank you.
Right. Moving over to South Asia, Paul. In Pakistan, the Supreme Court has announced that the Punjab and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa elections have to take place within 90 days. So this has made Imran Khan quite happy. He's called off his protest, and parties are now gearing up for the campaigns.
Look, it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. That's going to be an incredible barometer both on the actual state of security forces, the state of politics in terms of who can play a straight bat and who has to use a cricket bat. It's also going to confirm whether Imran Khan's days are numbered or if he can actually mount a comeback. But it's not like coming back on a level green playing field. I think he's going to have an extremely challenging environment. So I'm not sure that his optimism and his calling off of protests is going to be that long-lived. Serious connotations to the security paradigm just by the announcement of those elections. Thank you.
Right. In Sri Lanka, the Export-Import Bank of China said that it will support Sri Lanka's application to the IMF, and it will extend deadlines on current payments of debt. The IMF had previously failed to reach an agreement on Sri Lanka over its debts to other countries, including China.
Look, that's a really interesting issue when we look at it from the macro political perspective, because China obviously controls the Bank of China. They've shown flexibilities there. And if we look at everybody's waiting for them to be the major player and getting involved in solving or even influencing the outcome of the Ukraine-Russia war or even peace talks, the fact that China is also keeping a low profile on this particular issue and showing a lot of flexibility is extremely interesting and noted. Thank you.
Right. Moving over to the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region. So in Moldova, tens of thousands of people protested in the capital to demand subsidies for energy bills. This comes amidst the cost of living crisis. Protesters also called on the country's political elite to not involve Moldova in the current Russia-Ukrainian conflict.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you.
And lastly, in Ukraine, according to a source from President Zelensky's office, authorities are considering withdrawing from Bakhmut city.
Yeah, look, and frankly, they may have been a little bit late already. I mean, when you lose something, you're best to get guys out and not is when you don't have enough troops, making martyrs out of troops is very rarely a good option. The fact that they've hung on to Bakhmut this long, that's something to be proud about, but it's probably time to get any survivors out. I mean, I saw a very interesting video yesterday where there was a guy there, soldier, and they basically didn't have any weapons or intel or info on where the Russians are. So, I mean, he was having a cigarette and hoping for the best, but sometimes the best outcome is to live another day. Let's hope they haven't. I mean, obviously, previously in the war, they tried to hold on to a city way too long, led to a lot of unnecessary fatalities. Hopefully, the common sense decision to do a withdrawal will not be delayed any further. But thanks for the update.
Right, Paul. That's a brief for today. Anything else from you?
No, that's fantastic brief. Thank you.
Thanks.